Welcome to the DMF. I'm Justin Younts. This is part two. Because
Thank you.
one of the things I noticed about you, and I think this helps because you did German, is your dialogue. I mean, it really comes out. It doesn't feel stilted. Which you can find with people, especially people that come from the fitness industry. There's like this stiltedness they have to kind of get over. You see it
Yeah.
with professional wrestlers, people like that. Like they have to learn that kind of thing. But with your stuff, I just noticed there was a very fluidity to the language that came through. Is that something you just naturally had, or is that something that you worked on?
Never thought about that. It's a good question. I worked on it. I
Hmm.
definitely have. I've always been, hmm, I've never been scared of jumping into something that is not known for me, and then I do
Yeah.
research. And I've learned a long time ago from an acting coach, Billy Galloway, told me a long time ago, when you walk into the audition room, you are the character already. Don't break character. Be the person. Be the person
Yeah.
that you leave. So I feel like even my drive to a callback, when I get a callback, I usually know I'm booking it. I'm
Yeah.
have a really high booking rate when I know I get a callback once I get to meet the director and producer.
Yeah.
Because it's all about listening in a relationship, right? It's what is acting?
Yeah.
Acting is reacting naturally and real from an authentic place. That's all it is. And not from, oh, what do I sound like? What do I look like? That's
Yeah.
when you're losing the audience anyway, because you're not connected anymore. And so I was, I had to learn in the beginning not to be in my head,
Hmm.
because there comes this whole um, moment when you are performing, because we all are still performing, that you have to go to a place that's um, here and not here, right? That it's
Yeah.
authentic, that you forget about what you were supposed to say. If you really learned your
Yeah.
words, they're already here, they're not up here. And then you
Yeah.
authentically can answer. Um, and it was practice. I had to practice it. I had
Hmm.
to meditate and say, okay, who am I walking in? And I'm going to be authentically this person. Some people call it method acting. My children
Yeah.
always had to read with me, and in the car, I would become this character, and they're like, "Okay, are we talking to mom right now? Or are we talking to the character?"
Yeah.
Um, I believe that once you commit to the character and once you understand who you are, I think then it becomes easy. Like
Talk a
even when I
little bit of
walked into it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 no. You finish.
When I walked into, for instance, when I was auditioning for Wamanga, for instance, for Disney. I came in an outfit that I thought this is what a Wamanga would be, and
Mm.
they didn't want me at first. They said, "Nope, we don't need her." And even though they liked my audition, but they didn't think. I think they had a different ethnicity for the character in mind.
Mm.
And then that they changed it, and then I got the call, and they liked me and they wanted me there. But to going into the audition, I was completely committed. I was Vomonga, going into the character, walking into it, and I don't really chit chat a lot in audition rooms.
Yeah.
I'm really
Same
into
here.
my character. I don't need to exchange numbers while I'm there with you. I don't need to network with you. I'm there to get a job, and I'm there to do a job, really,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's um it gets better the more often you do it, because I love auditioning. I really love auditioning because you
Mm.
practice every time. You get better and better and better. And I've been doing it for so long now that I really love when I get an audition. I get excited.
Yeah.
I have opportunities now to audition for really big TV shows, bigger movies with A-list
Yeah.
people. And I don't get as nervous anymore. I remember when I first came here and I auditioned for Supergirl, and Bridget Nielsen walked in and did the same audition that I did. And
Mm.
I was here. I wasn't here anymore. because I just
Yeah.
saw her and this whole thing, I had this imposter syndrome for some reason, and I just choked in the audition. I was not good. And
Mm.
that's when I realized, okay, I need to work on this because
Yeah.
nothing should rattle you. You know, when you're on set and you have all these people around you,
Yeah.
you have to stay in character. You can. And then,
Yeah.
um, it's so funny. My sister just came with me on set, and she got to be there for a day, and it was a
Mm.
17-hour day. And she
Yeah.
said, I had no idea that the days are so long and that you have to stay in character so long. How do you do it? How do you not? And I said, that's what we get paid for, to stay in it. Yeah,
You.
I love it. I love being on set. Love it, love it, love it. But it's a lot of waiting time
Yeah.
and long
Go,
hours.
going back to that audition, that previous audition that you felt that you I don't know, just for the sake of time, failed at. Did you were you working with Bobby at that time?
Really?
Billy, excuse me. Yeah, at that time. What advice did he give you after something like that happened?
Um, he told me
Yeah.
when you go, because I got into my head, and he said, because she walked in, he told me, just picture everybody butt naked. And it just takes the power away. We're all the same,
Yeah.
and
Would you
and
actually do that?
I don't really do that now, but I do have learned to, they're just people like everybody else. Everybody
Yeah.
just does the same thing. Everybody just, and then just be authentic with your choices. Don't, and be, just commit to that choice, because a director loves a choice. Like when I did, um Escape the Night, and I created a killer clown. I actually didn't
Yeah.
audition for that role. I auditioned for a very small part. They wanted somebody that was at the circus stands, that just was like one of the helpers there. There
Yeah.
wasn't the main character or anything like that. And I walked into the audition and I shocked them. A lot of times when you get their attention, like I kissed my muscles, I spit on the floor, I just went there. And the director saw my tape and called me in again. And they rewrote this character. Hightower was supposed to be for a man. And they rewrote it for me. And it became, season one, episode two, and then it became the mockumentary. And um, yeah, I just taking a chance, committing to who you say you're going to be, and then don't second guess you, and just own it, And because sometimes you give them an idea that they even think about, And
Yeah.
when I did Womonger, I went in like that, and then my agent called and said, "No, you didn't make it." And then literally an hour later, they said, "Oh, you booked the role."
Hmm.
So.
What do you think changed with Warmonger?
Ethnicity. I think they were gonna go for
Yeah.
maybe a black guy and a black girl, and then they changed it and they went with a white guy, and he was really tall, and they needed somebody that is working with him, and I was the right
So
fit.
so they did enjoy the audition that you did. They just or did they not?
Oh yeah, they did.
Okay.
Where I
Okay,
flopped
good.
was Supergirl. That was I
That was
already walked
different.
out and I was like, oh my God, this was the worst edition of my life, because I was stumbling all over my words. I was so in my head about who I just saw
Yeah.
that I wasn't here true to who this superhero was, right? And when I went into a manga, I didn't have that problem. So I knew I had a great delivery. Same when I did
That's good.
American Horror Story. I walked in, I owned it, I knew who I was, and yeah.
Yeah.
And in the end of the day, you're like, I just did some big auditions and I wanted to get that TV show, and they ended up going with somebody else. And
Mm.
I sometimes just, you can never take it personal, because it could be
Yep.
so many things. It could be they had a relation with somebody else. They wanted somebody more ethnic. They wanted somebody with a more American accent. I don't know what it could be, so many things. But I loved the opportunity. And every opportunity with a casting director is an opportunity for them to say, oh, I might not have something for her right now, but I have something for her for not something else.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me with other TV shows where I auditioned for one thing and it was a smaller part, and then they actually came back and said, "Oh, actually, can you audition for something different on the same TV show?" So every audition is an opportunity to be seen.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.